Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga. Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hare, Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Nila Madhav, Radha Nila Madhav, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Nila Madhav, Radha Nila Madhav, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Giridhari, Radha Giridhari, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Giridhari, Radha Giridhari, Shri Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Gaura Haribo. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivakacharya Stotara Sassi Simat His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Guru Bhakta Brinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Brinda Ki Jai. Shri Sri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shyam Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की जय, मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय, पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, गंगा मई की जय, यमुना मई की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय, हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, युग धर्म हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय, ट्रांसीडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय, ट्रांसीडेंटल प्रसादम डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय, हरे कृष्णा धाम ह्यूस्टन की जय, The Divine Lordship C.C. Nitai Chaitanya Chandra Nitai Gaur Chandra Ki Jai. The Divine Lordship C.C. Radha Giridhari Ji Ki Jai. The Divine Lordship C.C. Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. The Divine Lordship and most merciful C.C. Radhanila Madhava Ki Jai. C.C. Radhanila Madhava Gaur Bhakta Brinda Ki Jai. Gaur Premanandaya. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Hari Bol.
Down with the mask on, pretty good. I don't know if I've seen that before. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachade Satarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I don't think I've been in this temple room with the doors open like this before. I guess it's a pandemic special. But there's a large number of persons and it allows for social distancing a little bit, at least for the people back there. It's nice. And for those of you that may not be aware, this is the occasion this evening is an initiation ceremony. And for those of you that are not familiar with the initiation ceremony, is a little background and then we'll get right into it. Initiation marks a formal connection with disciplic succession from Krishna, or in case of our line, Krishna, Brahma, Narada, Vyas, etc., disciplic succession, establishing a formal link or connection through two things: submission unto and acceptance by Krishna. The acceptance by Krishna is, according to our Vaishnava teachings, is performed by, using Prabhupada's language, the current link or a current link. Current link meaning in the chain of disciplic succession, there's links that link and link and link and make a connection with Krishna through the chain of disciplic succession. So submission is unto the current link, but actually it's submission unto Krishna and it's acceptance by Krishna of that submission through the medium of disciplic succession. Prabhupada liked the phrase, the mystery of disciplic succession. And it is something of a mystery how that which represents Krishna can be accepted as not different from Krishna, but different from Krishna. It sounds like double talk, but that's the reality, spiritual reality. And initiation marks the formal acceptance and submission. And from that time, there's a nice little essay that Bhaktivinoda Thakur, some of you are, I'll assume that some of you are newer. So up here, we have a nice photo of Srila Prabhupada, or over there on the Vyasasana is Srila Prabhupada. And he had a spiritual master who is Bhakti Siddhanta, whose spiritual master is Gorkishore, whose spiritual master or preceptor is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote an essay called Pancha Samskara. Some of you from South. I'm waiting for the next one. Some of you from South India may know of this, Pancha Samskara. Samskara means impression, Pancha means 5. So when the process of Diksha is performed, there are 5 Samskaras that are traditional in Sri Vaishnavism and Vaishnavism of any kind. And one of those 5 items is giving of a name, a spiritual name, just as with birth, mother and father and whoever they consult, they give a name, identifying the body or the child that's born of them. And Diksha, as spiritual name, is given, identifying the connection with Krishna, has now become the second birth, or Dvija, or the connection with Krishna. So for men, a name of Krishna, or ladies, a name of the potencies of Krishna. So Krishna Das and Radha Dasi, like that. Servants of the Supreme Lord and his transcendental potencies. That's one of the 5. And you'll see when we get over to where the yagya is going to be done, neck beads are given. That's another of the 5. Tilak. Now in ISKCON, we wear tilak before initiation, but the formality was tilak, neck beads, name, and the 4th and 5th ones, by Sanskrit, the name is tapa. Tapa in Sri Vaishnavism is a metal brand is placed on the shoulders of the male to indicate this body is now the property of Narayana. Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very merciful. He didn't require like that. The tapa that he required was regret, the humility through the submission process, that I've wasted so much of my life and who knows how many lifetimes before coming to this position of submission. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that Vaishnava tapa is a form of purification. It's not that one dwells in sadness, but one regrets misuse of free will. Now going forward, let me properly submit my free will to Krishna and disciplic succession. Tapa. And the 5th, traditionally, when Gayatri is given to an initiate, they're given a deity. So in our ISKCON, we have our deities. Many of our householders, they have deities. Our brahmacharis don't commonly have their own deity, but deity for the form of the Lord to worship, because particularly with Gayatri mantra, the form of the Lord is worshipped through the medium of the mantra. And therefore mantra is given along with the deity, or the deity is given along with mantra. And those are the 5. So it's the form varies from tradition or disciplic succession to disciplic succession, but the principles are the same. Exactly as we're doing, and you'll see the ceremony across the way, it's taken directly, the elements are taken directly from the Vedas, the Pancharatra section of the Vedas, the Pancharatriki Vidhi section of the Vedas, without elaborating too much. The procedures may vary in intricacy and mantras. For example, just tell a little story. On the altar here on the right, you'll see there's Govardhan. And down below Govardhan, is Radha Giridhari. And down below Radha Giridhari, you'll see a framed photo that shows 6 persons. There are 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. They were followers of Lord Chaitanya, who is on the far left altar, Lord Chaitanya. And they wrote many books. One of those books was written by Gopal Bhatta Goswami on the procedures, elaborate procedures for the rituals or the tantras, the things that Vaishnavas do. Elaborate procedures. Because Gopal Bhatta Goswami was the son of the chief priest of Sri Rangam when he was just a young boy, 6 or 7. Some biographies say he was 10. When Lord Chaitanya visited their home means his father, the chief priest of Sri Rangam, invited him to stay at his home for 4 months of the rainy season. So he stayed there. And Gopal, the little Gopal, heard from Lord Chaitanya and developed deep attachment to him for those 4 months. He wanted to go with Lord Chaitanya. When it was after the rainy season, Lord Chaitanya said, stay, serve your parents for the duration of their life. And then when they're consenting for you to go, you may go take, not shelter of him, but take shelter of Rupa and Sanatan Goswami in Vrindavan, 2 of the other 6 persons pictured here. So he wrote a book, a detailed book on rituals, because he was the son of the chief priest of Sri Rangam. So he knew all the rituals. And he also knew Lord Chaitanya's teachings. So he customized the rituals to be suitable for Lord Chaitanya's teachings. And when we do this yagya over here, it's a shortened version of Sat Kriya Dipika. The lengthy version takes about 2 hours for initiation. Just like weddings. Some weddings take 3 days. Some weddings take a few hours. So the principles are intact in either case. They're just more elaborate and more simple. So in different disciplic successions, these principles are observed in a different way, but the principles are the same principles. And in summary, what I'm saying here is this procedure of initiation is taken directly from the Vedas in disciplic succession, and we're just following in disciplic succession. And one who's interested in the details, that literature is available to explain the details. I'm just trying to give a little summary of what we're doing here. The essence is submission and acceptance. Submission unto Krishna, acceptance by Krishna, on behalf, through the agency of disciplic succession. It's a function, or it's a mystery of disciplic succession. In the morning class, I want to say just a few more things and we'll move on. In the morning class, we spend some time, because this coming weekend is Ram Navami. And to encourage those who attended, there was I gave a little summary of what is Ramayana? What is it? And you can say lots of things about what it is. So towards the end, according to commentators that describe what Ramayana is, it's a treatise of surrender. Shh. It's a treatise of surrender. There she goes, surrendering right out the door. And there are different ways of looking at that process of surrender. I want to mention one of them that we discussed this morning. I'm just combining Ramayana with what we're doing right now. Many of you know, maybe most of you know, if not almost all of you know, the story of Vibhishan surrendering to Ram. Vibhishan, he was a good guy. He was virtuous. Even before he was born, it was pronounced by his father that he will be of excellent virtue. And he was, from beginning, in the middle, and in the end. A little bit reminds me a little bit of Vidura, who was also virtuous, but in, a bad situation amongst the Kauravas, particularly Duryodhana and his brothers, who were really diabolical. And he knew that they were, and he tried to dissuade them. He tried to dissuade his elder brother, to no avail. And so he left. It came at an insult, but it wasn't because he was insulted. He just realized there's no service for me here. So he left. Vibhishan did the same. He tried to dissuade Ravana from his wickedness several times. He left. And when he left, he went to take shelter of Ramachandra. And when he left with 4 ministers, because these 4 ministers, they were also virtuous from the outset, and they were like him. They were assistants to him, and he was of the royal family, and they were his assistants. When he left, they left. And we discussed this. When he reached the shore where Ram and the Vanaras were, there was a whole big discussion about whether he should be trusted or not trusted. Should they give him a road test and see if he's a good guy or a bad guy? Maybe he has bad motivations, maybe this, maybe that. And, they went around and around. Very lengthy discussion. Then they called on Hanuman because he didn't speak up. When called upon, he said many nice things. He said Hanuman-like things. And one of the concluding points was, I know Ram, and Ram has already accepted him, so there's really nothing to discuss. And Ram confirmed, this very significant verse that we've been discussing a little bit over the last few days. If someone, regardless of his background, even once says, from this day forward, I am yours. I take full shelter of you. To such a person, I give my protection, and they can become fearless. They're never in any difficulty. They will never be in any difficulty. No, there's difficulty in life, but protection takes care of the difficulty. And one who is feeling protected, even there's some danger, they're not fearful because they know that they're protected. So now, the Sri Vaishnava Acharyas in particular, they speak of the 4 ministers that were accompanying Vibhishan as representing 2 characteristics of one who's taking shelter and 2 characteristics of one who's giving shelter. Ram is giving shelter, Vibhishan is taking shelter. I'll remind you of that topic, but there's a very nice verse that I like to quote because every single initiation lecture I heard Prabhupada give, he always quoted 2 verses. I'm going to quote one of them. It's from the 11th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, the discussion between Karabhajan Muni and King Nimi. Tasmat Guru Prapadyeta Jigyasu Shreya Uttama Shabde pare chanishnatam brahmani upashamashrayam. And I probably heard that verse spoken by Prabhupada a few hundred times. So it's like, I'm very familiar with the verse. It's a very nice verse. Tasmat means therefore. So it's part of a longer discussion on the process of Diksha. Tasmat, therefore, Guru Prapadyeta. Prapadyeta means surrender. Guru Prapadyeta, one should surrender unto Guru. And then gives a description of the qualification of Guru. The qualification of Guru that's given. Shabde pare cha nishnatam. Shabde pare, Shabda means sound. And Shabde pare means Vedic sound, transcendental sound. Shabde pare. A qualification of Guru is they have heard and they have realized the conclusion of the Vedas. Cha nishnatam. Cha nishnatam is they are able to explain those teachings to others and convince others of those teachings. Shabde pare cha nishnatam brahmani upashamashrayam. It's a nice word. Upasamashrayam means they've rejected worldliness. They're no longer interested in pursuing happiness through fruitive activities. They're interested in pursuing Brahman. Brahmani upashamashrayam. Those are qualifications of Guru described in that verse from the 11th canto Bhagavatam. And the four ministers indicate something quite similar. Jigyasu means inquisitiveness. Jigyasu, to inquire. Jigyasu Shreya Uttama. And many of you are fortunate because you're born in India or you grew up knowing a lot about the Vedas. And then there's people like me that knew nothing about nothing. And that has its advantage too, because at least I know nothing about nothing. And some people who know something about the Vedas think they know everything about the Vedas. Oh, I know all about Krishna. Brahma, in Canto 10, Chapter 14, he says to Krishna, some people say, I know all about Krishna. As for me, I don't want to speak too much about this. Because Krishna, you're unknowable. Krishna, you're beyond worldliness. And that's what I'm able to understand, worldliness. So, Shreya Uttama, Prabhupada explains. Shreya, there are two words, Shreya and Preya. Preya means short-term benefit. Shreya means long-term benefit. Prabhupada gives the example. A child likes to play. That's Preya. And then at some point, parents say, you have to go to school. Oh, I want to play. You have to go to school. And here's why you have to go to school, because you're going to get older and someday you're going to need that education. And so you have to go to school. That's the Shreyas, long term. You forego the short term because there's something that's ahead of you that's long term. That's Shreya. And then Shreya Uttama is ultimate, long term. So those who are Jigyasu Shreya Uttama, that's a qualification for a disciple. They don't just want a convention or a fashion or all the other kids are doing it, I think I'll do it too, kind of thing. But there's a sense of inquisitiveness into Shreya Uttama, the ultimate benefit that a living entity can gain. Jigyasu Shraya Uttama. A desire to make a connection with transcendence. So initiation is meant for those who desire to make a connection with transcendence, making a connection with Krishna. And through the disciplic succession method, through the submission and acceptance method, acceptance by Krishna and submission into Krishna. So now we'll go back to those 4 ministers. I'll do it quickly because of time. And there's 2 characteristics of the one who wants to take shelter. That's these nice devotees that want to take shelter. And akinchanatvam, akinchana. It's a word found in Queen Kunti's prayers twice, akinchana. I discussed it this morning, I'm just expanding on it now. Akinchana means you don't have material shelter or no material objects that you anticipate this object is going to bring me happiness. You may have objects, and we all have objects, but thinking of those objects as the source of happiness for me. Akinchana is one who doesn't have that. So if you don't have that, then what do you have? You have to have some actual shelter. And the actual shelter, this is another one of the 4 ministers, Ananya Gati Tvam. Ananya means I have no other. Gati, shelter. I have no other shelter, you're my only shelter. It's checkmate. It's not 50% here and 50% there. I call it the 2-pocket program. One pocket is so much for Krishna, and the other pocket is so much for me. And my mantra is me, me, Krishna, Krishna. That's divided devotion. And Ananya Gatitvam it's undivided devotion. Because akinchanatvam, I've let go of the idea, or I'm trying to let go of the idea that there's some other source of happiness for me out there somewhere. And especially in things like objects of this world, and possessing objects bring me happiness. So one who has let go of that and has taken full shelter of the place of shelter, Krishna, that's a qualification. And then on the other side, the qualification of one who's giving shelter, ultimately that giving shelter person is Krishna. Because submission to disciplic succession means submission to Krishna through disciplic succession. So there's 2 more ministers representing 2 aspects of the place of shelter, taking shelter of Krishna. And one of them, it's a nice term, saralata. Saralata. What does that mean, saralata? It means simplicity. A saralata person doesn't discriminate on coverings. If someone is sincere, that's sufficient. Exactly what Ramchandra said about Vibhishan. Yes, even if he has some motive, the idea of motive for Vibhishan was he knows that Ravana is going to lose. He wants to be the next king. Supposing he has the idea of becoming the next king, no problem. He's virtuous. Let him become the next king. Supposing that is his intention, no problem. Because once he takes shelter of Ram, those material motives become dissolved by that process of taking shelter. So simplicity, saralata. And then the final one is with Ram or Krishna or the object of surrender, there's Shakti, there's the power to deliver the person. Factual. Mamekam sharanam braja. So that's what we're doing here. It's the formal connection where there's qualification or eagerness to understand Shreya Uttama, the topmost benefit, long-term benefit. It doesn't mean that they're already there. It means that they have that faith. That's the eligibility. They have the faith and there's some sincerity to go from where they are, when one is, to that ultimate destination through incremental steps. And that person is then eligible for Diksha. So I think I've taken too much time. So I'm going to, something that we like to do is the persons who are going to be initiated, to have somebody that knows them well speak something about those persons who are going to receive first initiation. This evening, there are 2 devotees that will be receiving Gayatri mantras, and there are 4 devotees who will be receiving first initiation, Harinam, Diksha. So what's the plan? Who's going to be the spokespersons? Where's Shyamsundar Prabhu? Oh, there he is.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I'm very happy to see Aradhita and Ambika Vasistha Mataji to take the great step for their spiritual life. I know them for many, many years. Aradhita looks young, but she is a very mature person, actually. She is very sincere anything that she does. She is fortunate to have taken birth in a wonderful family, beautiful father and mother, giving the homeschooling. She is extremely qualified, and she is also very determined. I think that all the credit goes to her determination. I have some exchanges with her to engage her in some service. And when she commit to some service, she always there to perform their devotional practice with her full heart. So I'm very happy to see her today, to set a very good example at her age. Also on our morning Zoom call, she's also a very exemplary young youth that attracted so many other young in our Zoom call in the morning. So I'm so happy to see her take that step. With Ambika Vasistha Mataji, I know her. She's very artist person. I was lucky enough to see the dressing of her deity on a Gaur Purnima day. It was totally amazing. The way she makes the garlands for the deities from the petals of roses. And she can sew the dresses of the deities. She is a very artistic person. I have enjoyed working with her on the Goswami Academy, where she was very good about selecting the different colors in each rooms. Radhakrishna Prabhu is also very good on those. So I always take shelter of him also. But Ambika Vasistha is very, very good, very punctual. Actually, her really good qualification is she is really punctual. When you ask for some service, if she cannot be able to do it, she will say, Prabhu, I won't be able to do. But if she commit to the service, she is 100% there to perform very nicely. She put all her heart to the devotional practice. So I'm very happy to see Ambika Mataji taking the steps, and she is very determined. And I pray to our presiding deities, Radhanela Madhava, Giriraj, Radha Giridhari, Nitai Chaitanya Chandra, Nitai Gaur Chandra, and all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavi to bless all these initiates so they can continue rendering and dedicate their life for fulfillment of Srila Prabhupada mission. Haribol.
Hare Krishna. I'll say something about Adita. From a very young age, she displayed precocious attitude. Very, as Shamachandra was saying, she's very mature for her age. She studied Bhakti Shastri and she's still doing it. She's a very good student, always handing in her homework on time before anyone. She's always helping out in the temple during the festivals. She's the right hand of her father during such times. And she also helps out at Govinda's restaurant whenever they have big Thanksgiving festival or Christmas festival, when they need a lot of help. Or she stands in as a host or waiting on customers like that. So very nice girl. And every Sunday you'll see her at the front entrance of our temple with the two Gangas, Ganga Mataji and Manasi Ganga, armed with hands.
We've been great friends. She's very service oriented and is dedicated to all her services that she takes on. She always has a beautiful smile on her face and she's a very sincere person. She's truly an inspiration to her peers. Radhita, I'm so proud of you for taking this important step in your spiritual journey. Congratulations, and I'm so honored to be your god sister.
Okay, you're in charge. Go ahead. No, yes, or maybe.
Hare Krishna. I would first speak to Radhita. I've known you ever since I moved to Houston for the first time, which was nearly 12 years ago, and we've known each other since. I have always been a part of all the activities you've done, and you have led me on through all the services we've done through all of the events at the temple. And I wish you all the best on your journey, and I will always be here as long as we stay in the same temple. And for Ambika Mataji, I have known her ever since she has moved to Houston from after her marriage, and we have spent a lot of time together working on events and decorating the temple together. And I would also like to wish you a very successful journey on your path to back to Godhead. Hare Krishna.
More? Okay.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Oh, you're going to say something. Oh, yeah.
About Kannan Prabhu and Sridevi
Okay.
Mataji. Hare Krishna devotees. I have known Kannan Prabhu and Sridevi Mataji for more than 7 years now. Me and my wife Jai Subhadra, we become, the course of 7 years, we become very close associates. There was strong bonding by doing various services in our temple in Austin, Texas. I mean, there are many wonderful qualities they have. So the very notable one, at least for me, which manifests in all the services they do in our temple, is compassion. Very compassionate individuals. It's very amazing to see the couples. Generally, they are like opposites, but here it's so they're like they go in locksteps and they demonstrate the quality of compassion very beautifully. For example, they do a lot of services such as preaching. So though they little new to preaching, but they started as a teacher assistant. They become a very serious preachers. They give Bhagavad Gita classes for newcomers, and they actively cultivate new devotees in chanting the holy names and also the process of bhakti in general. Then they're also very good book distributors. They go out and distribute books. In fact, I can say this very confidently. They're a pillar of support for our Sankirtan team in Austin. So we do various Sankirtan events, and you can see these two devotees from the beginning till the end distributing Srila Prabhupada books. Kannan Prabhu is so attached to Science of Self-Realization. He distributes only that book and he just completes and finishes all the boxes. Then we have to order again for the next event. So without exaggeration, I can say that, I mean, he distributes more Science of Self-Realization than any devotee that I know in Austin. I can clearly say that. And also they do a lot of menial services in our temple, cleaning the floor. We have a very small temple. So I have to tell them, you don't need to do every week because we have to give the service to others as well. But they always wanted to grab that service and do it. But they do all the services with the mode of humble servants of Guru and Krishna. So that's what makes it really attractive. I'm very grateful to both of them for all the services they do for our temple. I'm also very honored and blessed to be here for the initiation. I would like to I pray sincerely to the most merciful Shri Shri Radha Nila Madhava and all the wonderful gorgeous deities here, and also all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, to bless them so that they can serve Guru and Krishna nicely and attend pure devotional service in this life. Hare Krishna.
Man's got a gun pointed at me, so I'm allergic to cameras like that. I'll start sneezing or something. So, okay, so now we're going to do taking of vows. Let's do it quickly. The two from Houston can go over to Prabhupada's Vyasa-san, offer obeisances, come over here. And while we're waiting, two devotees, one devotee is here from Dallas to receive Gayatri mantra, and one is here from Houston who will receive Gayatri mantra. And that means that they will then be able to commence deity worship. I think they're very enthusiastic to do that. The deity worship in the temple. Okay. So come forward. Aradhita, come forward and pay obeisances, and we'll go with the vows. So before Radha Nila Madhava and all the devotees and Srila Prabhupada who take vows for initiation. First one is how many rounds you'll chant on your beads every day? 16. And the 4 rules that you'll follow?
No intoxication, no meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex.
Okay. And you'll make your best effort for the remainder of your life to continue following Prabhupada's teachings.
Yes, Guru
Very
Maharaj.
good. Your initiated name, it's a nice one. You're going to like it. Ananya Bhakti Devi Dasi. Ananya Bhakti means undivided, unalloyed devotion to Krishna. Radha Krishna, Radha Nilamadava, unalloyed devotion. And Aradhita, how many rounds you'll chant on your beads every day?
16 rounds minimum.
How many?
16 minimum.
16 minimum. You sure? She's sure. I'm sure she's sure. And the 4 rules that you'll follow?
No meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, and no illicit sex.
Okay. And like the rest of your family, you'll continue following Srila Prabhupada's teachings.
Yes.
Yeah. Initiated name. Atula Radha Devi Dasi. We're going to need them to go pay their obeisances. Satyasar, can you stop? Pay your obeisances and come back. Atula means incomparable or unequaled or peerless. These are synonyms that Prabhupada has given in his teachings. Incomparable, Radha. Okay. Obeisances here. Come forward. Okay. Your vows for initiation to chant how many rounds each day on your beads?
16 rounds.
16 minimum.
Minimum 16.
Good. And the 4 rules that you'll follow?
No intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex, no meat eating.
Very good. And you'll continue to follow Prabhupada's teachings as best you can, your lifetime?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. I'll buy a book from you. Sign me up. Your initiated name is Kamalanayana Das. Kamalanayana is the name of Krishna, his lotus-eyed Supreme Lord. Kamalanayana Das. Okay. And last but not least, the vows include chanting. How many rounds you'll chant on your beads for the rest of your life?
Minimum 16 rounds.
Very
Guru Maharaj.
good. And the 4 rules that you'll follow?
No meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication.
Very good. And like your good husband, you'll continue following Prabhupada's teachings.
Yes, no.
Yeah.
Guru Maharaj.
The initiated name is Sarveshwari Devi Dasi. Easy. The controller, it's the name of Radharani. She's the controller of everyone and everything. The internal potency of Krishna is the controller of everyone and everything, even her expansion. So I believe what we do next is, were you going to make some announcement of what we're going to do next? Or someone is going to announce? Take your mask off so we can hear you.
So the next part of the ceremony is going to be in front of the Gauranga Hall. So we will lead with the kirtan from here in a procession to Gauranga Hall, and then there will be a yajna ceremony for the initiates, and everybody can join standing in the grounds, or if you can find a place to sit around the grounds. It's nice weather outside, so enjoy. And we will, after the initiation ceremony, there will be prasadam carry-out boxes available. Thank you so much, and His Holiness Ramapada Swami Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
This is the idea.
Yeah. Krishna.
Hare Krishna. No. I'm gonna start this like.
Namaste, Sarasvati Devi, Bhagavani Prachadine, Nirvashesha, Samyavadi, Yadesha, Dadine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare
शकुने भद्रमवदः ओमस्य कर्मण षष्ठी भवन्तु ध्रुवन्तु आयुष्मते षष्ठी ओम षष्ठी ओम षष्ठी ओम षष्ठी ओम षष्ठी ओम षष्ठीन इन्द्रविद्यश्रवः षष्ठीन पूषाद्विषभृता षष्ठीन तार्भम् अरिष्टनमि षष्ठीन बृहस्पति ददतु ओमस्य कर्माण रिद्धिं भवन्तु ध्रुवन्तु ओम ओम रिद्धतम ओम रिद्धतम ओम रिद्धतम। ओम सन्नो मित्रः श्यामवर्णः सन्नो भवो धर्मयः सन्नो इन्द्र बृहस्पतिः सन्नो विष्णुरुक्मः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो तमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि तमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि एतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मम अवतु तदुकत्तरा तम अवतु अवतु मम अवतु वक्तारम् ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शानववतु शानव वनक्तु साहाभिरकरवहौ तेजस्विनमवधीतम् अस्तु मा दितिसवहौ ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम यरचंद्र संभूता शंभुसभा ईश्वरूपः चंद्रौ भयातयामेतं शंभुवा सा निन्द्रौ मेधया स्फुरना सुता अमृतस्य दिवा धारणा भुवस्समा शरीरं मे विसर्जनं जिह्वा मे मधुमत्तमः कर्णभयं भूरि विष्णु ब्रह्मा ब्रह्मणः कौश शशीतमेधियापीत श्रुतं मे गोपया ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम अहम भिक्षाच्च ऋतिवा कीर्तिः पुष्ट्यंग रेविवः अधूर्व ऊर्ध्व पवित्रः वाजिनीव सम्मिलिता मासी गर्भणीं सर्वस्य क्षमा सुमेधा अमृतक्षितः इति त्रिशङ्कर वेद नुवर्चनम् ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद ओम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम दौ शांति अंतरिकम शांति दुर्लभ शांति हृदय शांति वनस्पति शांति आकाश शांति वायु शांति तेज शांति ब्रह्मण शांति वैष्णव शांति शांतिरस्तु शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति.
Now we will be chanting the Brahma Samhita prayers.
Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadi Adi Govinda Sarvadharma Chintamani Prakara Sadna Sukalpa Vriksha Nakshabhriteshu Surabhi Adipanayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambrana Sedimanam Govindavani Purushan Tamaham Bhajami Vedam Kavantam Aravinda Dalai Paksam Bharhavatam Sarvasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandarpakoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindavani Purushan Tamaham Bhajami Alola Chandrakara Sattanamaya Vamsi Radhangadam Parayake Karinasam Shamanti Vandalitam Yataprakasam Govindavani Purushan Tamaham Bhajami Angani Asya Sakadendriya Vrittimanti Pasyanti Bhati Kayanti Chiranjanti Ananda Chinmaya Sadujvala Vigrahasya Govindavani Purushan Tamaham Bhajami Advaita Machutamanaga Manantarapam Atyam Purana Purusham Gadyopanancha Vedesha Durlabha Durlabha Atma Bhakta Govindavani Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Fantastu Koti Shakavatsara Sampradamyo Vayo Ratapi Manaso Vadipurvana Sopyasti Yadvapadasintya Vachintya Tate Govindavani Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Eko Prasavachayatam Jayananda Koti Yat Shaktirasi Jagadanda Sharayanataha Andantarasta Paramani Jayantarastam Govindavani Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yat Bhava Bhavatanayo Vajasvataya Samprapya Rupa Mahima Sanayana Mukshaha Superior Deva Jagamaho Pratikaisavarti Govindavani Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ananta Chinmaya Rasapatapitapis Kavirya Eva Nikaryupadaya Kalami Goloka Eva Nikasatya Kyatmabhuto Govindavani Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilosanena Santasareva Hridayesha Vinokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Achintya Ganasarupam Govindavani Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ramani Bhakti Shalami Avera Krishna Nanavataram Krishna Swayam Samabhava Paramahano Govindavani Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yasya Prabhavato Jagadanta Koti Koti Shashesha Vasudhani Vimoti Pindam
तद्ब्रह्मनिष्कलमनन्तमशेषभूतं गोविन्दमायि पुरुषं तमहं भजामि मायादि यस्य जगदन्तशतानि सूत्रे त्रैगुण्यतद्विषयभेदविधानाः सद्भावलम्बी परसत्त्वविशुद्धसत्त्वं गोविन्दमायि पुरुषं तमहं भजामि आनन्दचिन्मयरसप्रयामनस्सु यदप्राणिनां परिफलं सरसामुपेत्य लीलायते मधुगणानि जगत्यजस्रं गोविन्दमायि पुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोलोकरापि विददामि तमेष तस्य महेश हरिवामसुतेषु तेषु ते प्रभावनि गोविन्दमायि पुरुषं तमहं भजामि सृष्टि स्थिति प्रलय साधन शक्तिरेका चायेव यस्य भुवनानि निवर्ति दुर्गा इच्छानुरूपमपि यस्य चेष्टतेषा गोविन्दमायि पुरुषं तमहं भजामि क्षीरं यथा विकारविशेषयोगा सञ्जायते न विततं पृथगस्ति एको यशम्भुतामपि तथा समुपैति कार्य गोविन्दमायि पुरुषं तमहं भजामि दीपायते लपितये समानधर्मा विष्णुदया विराजी गोविन्दमायि पुरुषं तमहं भजामि यत्कारणर्णवदनेकजनिष्मयोगा निद्रामनन्दजगनन्द सरोमकूपः आधारशक्तिमवलम्ब्य परं मूर्तिं गोविन्दमायि पुरुषं तमहं भजामि यस्यैकनिष्ठमन्त्रावलम्ब्य जीवन्ति लोकमिलजा जगनन्दनाथः विष्णुर्महान् शरीरस्य प्रदाविशेषो गोविन्दमायि पुरुषं तमहं भजामि भस्मान्यकाष्णसकलेषु निजेषु तेजः स्वीयं कियत्प्रकटितयत्रा ब्रह्मायवेश जगदण्डविधानकर्ता गोविन्दमायि पुरुषं तमहं भजामि यत्पादपल्लवयुगं निजकाय कुम्भा वन्दे प्रणाम समयेषु गणाधिराज विघ्नान्विहन्तुमनवस्य दशत्रयस्य गोविन्दमायि पुरुषं तमहं भजामि अग्निर्मलिनमरुतस्य कालस्तथात्मनसिद्धि जगत्त्रयाणि यस्मात् भवन्ति विशन्ति यं च गोविन्दमायि पुरुषं तमहं भजामि यक्षुषेषु सवितासतपुराणां राज्ञः समस्तसुरमूर्तिरशेषते च यस्याज्ञयाप्रतिशब्दकालचक्रो गोविन्दमायि पुरुषं तमहं भजामि धर्मो तथा परिचयस्तथासि ब्रह्मालिखितप्रलयालयश्च जीवः यद्दत्तमात्रविगतप्रकटप्रभावः गोविन्दमायि पुरुषं तमहं भजामि यस्मै प्रलोभमतरेन्द्रमहास्वकर्मा भक्तानुरूपमनुराजनमातनोति कर्माणि निर्वहति किन्तु च भक्तिभावना गोविन्दमायि पुरुषं तमहं भजामि यं क्रोधतामसमुद्रप्रलयानि भीति वात्सल्यमोहगुरुगौरवसेव्यभावै सञ्चिन्त्य तस्य सदृशं कर्मापुरेति गोविन्दमायि पुरुषं तमहं भजामि पन्था परमा पुरुषोत्तमप्रचलभो भूमि सिद्धानि गणामहि यममथं तथागानं नाट्यं गलमगतिमसि प्रियसति चिरानन्दं ज्योतिपरम् अभिततस्वानमपि च कैन्द्रक्षिरोति प्रगति सुरादिव्यस्य सुमहान् Nimeshatnatyo bhagavati ahishapi samaya. Ajeshvetatvikam tamaham iha bhagavamitya. Idantasya shatashati sirunasara. Sura paramatma satchidananda vigraha. Radhe Radhe Govinda
Please, everybody, you're going to chant the mantra, you can follow. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Mate Ramapada Swami Iti Namine Swaha
Om Ajnana Timirandasya Niranjana Salakaya Chakshanam Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Swaha 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 Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam yena botre Swayam rupakadamayam Dati swapatantika Swaha Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Andikam Tam Sajivam Saditam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakanditam Saha Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachate Satarine Saha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Varshavanavi Devi Gayataya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Gayani Prabhave Namaha Madhuryojvana Premadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostate Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Viradha Apasiddhanta Tvanta Harine Namo Gaurakishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambodhe Sambojayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Anandanamine Gaura Shakti Sarupaya Rupanugavarayate Gaura Virpava Bhumishvam Nirvikta Sajjana Priyaha Vaishnava Sarvabhama Shri Jagannathayate Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhya evacha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Namo Mahabhadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurapishe Namaha Panchatattvakam Krishnam Bhaktarupasarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Bhaktavataram Nani Bhakta Shaktikan Nami Bhakta Shaktikan Swaha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Hey Krishna Karuna Dinabandho Jagatpate Dinabandho Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Radha Kanta Jayatam Surata Pangor Mama Mandala Tirgati Matsar Vasupadam Bojo Radha Madana Mohana Divya Vrindaranya Kalpa Dramadaha Srimad Ratnagara Simhasanashtam Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Deva Krishnadibhi Sevyamano Swarami Viman Rasarasarambhi Vamshi Vata Tata Stitaha Varshandena Sunayar Gopir Gopinatha Shriyeshtunaha Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishvano Sute Devi Namami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhara Gaura Bhaktivinoda Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Final mantra standing with your banana, please. Yeah. And very gently at the end, place the banana into the fire. Namo Namo Brahmanya Devaya. Brahmana Jagatithaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Krishna Krishna Hare
He's saying not everyone can go at once. Huh? He's saying not everyone can go at once. Everyone's trying to go.
See, what probably you can do maybe, see this, turn it so that you can turn it down but still may be able to see it.
Okay, all right.
Loosen it. Okay, tighten it. Okay, and now point it like this. Yeah, there you go. Go further down. You can go further down. People don't need to see the sky. People need to see the. You can climb on the chair. No, don't climb on that chair. So you can do a little bit further down. Can you still see it? Okay, there you go. I'm getting a total. Always remember, when you frame for shooting, right? This is unnecessary. People want to see more people. Yeah, there you go. That's good. Yeah.
capturing everything.
Yeah, me too. I'm just waiting. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
She was right behind me. I didn't even know she was
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gaura Hari Bol.